All right. Hot blooded, hot blooded. All right, here we go. Have in mind, you ought to know. I am completely naked. Air guitar jumping on my fucking bed. Come on, ladies. Come on, am I the only one fucking naked here? If it feels alright, maybe you can stay all night. Shall I leave you my key? But you got to keep me inside. I'm out of key, I know it. Tell me, are you hot, mama? You sure look that way to me. Yeah, I hope you're old enough. My time is right. Save your love for me tonight. Yeah, I'm ready. Can you see? Feel the burning inside me. Come on, baby, do all the best. All right, ladies, it's time to roll. Why do I get the feeling I'm gonna get stood up by like 5 of them? I already know it. Now it's up to you. Can we make a secret rendezvous? Yeah, don't tell your husband. Come on, baby, you can do more than that. I'm hot-blooded, I'm hot-blooded. All right. Good thing I don't give a fuck about monetization. Oh, all right. All right, honey, I'm letting you in my back door. Gabby, what's going on?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I suddenly got a burst of energy, if you know what I'm saying.
Here we go.
It's been a while. It's been a long while, so yeah.
Well, I figured I would come up because if you're not first, you're last, right?
Well, there's plenty of me to go around, honey.
So where's everybody at? Who else is coming up?
Well, I mean, I think Alex has a catch. They're it's last second. A couple of them are like, and I'm too nervous. Which is fine. I understand that. And the other ones, I'm not sure. Let's see. Tatiana wants to come on. Hey, baby, what's going on?
Hey, I'm just filling in until Hills gets here.
Oh, is Hills coming for sure?
Well, she said she was going to be your date for ladies' night.
I thought you were.
No, you asked her first, and then you asked me, and then she reminded you that you had asked her, so I said I was going to bow out, but she hasn't showed up yet, so I'll fill in until she gets here.
Oh, all right, cool. I took a Cialis, so I mean we can do this all night long.
Oh, Jesus, Bill.
Yeah, I know I'm a dirty old bastard. Hey, Tago, what's going on, man? I don't have Tago modded, but this dude, he does the same. The scam calls kind of the same way I do. I really like his style, so I don't think he's modded here. So if somebody else has his channel, throw it on there.
Somebody give Kitty some nip.
Catnip? Oh yeah, we got plenty of catnip.
Give her the nip. Sorry if you guys heard hear my dogs. They're kind of burning some energy off before it's bedtime.
Right on. How's my son doing?
Oh, he's a horn cat. Definitely
What?
a little horn
Duh.
cat. He's going to be sad next week. He's going to get his little balls cut off if he's old enough.
Yeah.
They have to be 2 pounds.
He's about there. He's got to be close.
Is he that big already? Man.
He's pretty
They grew
big.
up so fast.
I know, it's so crazy. I've had him for a month now, and he fit in one hand when I got him, and now he's like the size of my forearm.
Wow. We had 2 more litters, but one of them, I'm sorry, here, let me show you something. This is one of the benefits of, I'm not going to eat anymore on stream, that's true, but this is one of the benefits of having my shop to do this is Mom's cooking.
There you go. How do you flip your camera like that?
But there's a little picture of a camera. And
anytime I've been on here,
I think you have to go to try going to let me look here. Is it on the 3 dots? Yeah, if you go to the 3 dots and go to settings, I think you can do it there.
Oh.
Yeah. So what's been going on, Tatiana?
Not much. Just working on a few things and trying to finish up some paintings so I can get them in the mail next week.
Nice. I'm in great anticipation of the next one. Oh, mail order brides list says he's dressed in drag. Does that qualify? Not. If my dick's bigger than yours, yeah, you can come in.
Here, Kitty, you're very welcome. Hopefully you'll be receiving it in the next 2 weeks.
Terrence, don't be putting ideas into people's heads. Oh, and early on in the comments, if somebody wants to repost it. Our very own Daisy Doom is in a beauty contest, and you can just Google. You can actually vote every day, once every 24 hours. You can go and vote for her. I put that like in one of the first comments. I don't know if it's still there or not, but yeah, if she wants to throw that link out, go ahead.
Christy, it's ladies' night if you want to come up.
Yeah, come on up. Ladies only tonight, and me, which is how I prefer it in real life too. I mean, I actually accidentally. I mean, when I was younger, like when I wasn't in like a real relationship, I was a fucking horn dog, right? And there was a time, I was playing a band and shit, talking to people all over the place, whatever. But I told a particular girl that I was going to be at a certain bar at a certain time, and she showed up. But in between when we talked and the night of the incident, I'll call it, I'd also talked to another female and said, "Hey, I'm going to be at this bar," and that, like, they both took it as like a date, but in my mind, it wasn't. I'm just like, "Hey, I'm going to be there if you want to come party with us." So they both showed up, and then I had a third one that I actually did bring with me. So all three of them. At first, I was like, "Okay, how can I keep them separate and just act like this ain't gonna work?" So I just fessed up. I'm like, "Hey, this is what happened," but they immediately got like jealous and shit, and it wasn't a good night. It was not good. I'm missing everybody's comments. Oh, it was Tatiana requested that song right at first.
6th place. That's really good too.
Oh, is she in 6th now? She was in 8th last I knew. I mean, if ever, it's not going to happen, but if everybody here went and voted, we could probably push her to 1st right now. That would be really cool. All right. Never fails, right? Right when I go live, I get a bunch of text messages and DMs, but I can't check them without backing out of the stream.
Bill, have you made your way to Covered Bridge yet?
Not this year. I used to go every year, sometimes sometimes we'd camp there, but yeah, I love that place really. Is this the last weekend for it?
I think so. I think Sunday's the last day.
Yeah. I mean, I might be able to get down there, but I don't know.
Today would have been the best day. It was so nice. I think it's supposed to be nice like this all weekend, though. So.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Uh-oh. JFK's a little tipsy. Imagine that.
Ruh-roh.
Come on up here, JFK.
Yeah, I see. There's a lot of ladies in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Get your butts up here.
I don't know. I haven't seen Hills in the chat, so I think she's got something going on. Yeah, JFK, I'll drop the link for you. Or any other female that wants to come on. We're going to go with all females, and then we'll go with effeminate males, and we'll just kind of work it up the chain that way. You ladies, they're probably wondering, like, what you're doing because you're not talking like with your mouths, so they probably know what's going on behind the scenes here.
I'm just not exactly sure what lady night on the internet is.
I know. What
I have no idea. I have no idea either. I just think about shit and do it. I never think anything all the way through because thinking is overrated. It's just a panel with all females. We can talk about whatever. It doesn't matter to me.
I'm just really looking forward to the Alf impressions.
I've been working on it. Okay. See, I can't. I will get it down. No problem. I still got that persistent
very sorry.
head cold.
I'm very sorry for the people who don't know who Alf is.
Yeah. When you look back and think about it, like some of the stuff that we thought was so awesome, and I'm not saying Alf per se, but like some of it, you look back, and like, man, that was cheesy as hell. Why did we like that?
It was cheesy, but it was really cute and funny. And when you were a child, it was adorable.
Like, what was that one my sister watched? Punky Brewster. I
Remember?
always I couldn't stay in that show, but I look back at it now and I'm like, how in the hell can anybody? Are my links not going out? I thought I threw it out there a couple times. What was it? Oh, ask me any MASH question.
Grew up watching MASH. And then
What's that?
I grew up watching MASH also. It was my father's favorite sitcom.
Yeah. Me too. I still have MASH offs. Oh, hang on. All right, there we go. Now we've got almost a full house.
Hello. Okay, who am I up here with?
What's going on, ladies? We got Gabby, we got Tatiana, we got JFK, we got Lisa.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, guys?
Hello. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Been doing a little drinking tonight, huh?
Well, Bill, my father-in-law passed away the other day, so we're still celebrating his life. And,
oh, man, I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
He wasn't Irish, but we're celebrating like he was.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Have you ever been to an Irish funeral?
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
We've been celebrating for a few days now. And today was the last hurrah.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, that's the way to do it, you know, funerals. Like, I'm that asshole that will make people laugh at funerals.
Well, same here.
Well,
that's what you got to do.
I won't cry in front of anybody, you know.
Well, I'll cry. But, no, we just, had all the grandkids and great-grandkids and all of us adults together and, drinking for Grandpa.
Yeah.
And you know what? He was 88. He had mesothelioma really bad, and he was in a lot of pain. And they actually called him the poster child for mesothelioma because he outlived it like almost 3 years. But he took a bad fall a few weeks ago and landed on his face in the driveway and got a brain bleed. So that's actually what took him out. But it's kind of a blessing because he was in so much pain from the mesothelioma,
Right.
So, yeah, after he fell, everybody just took turns and went over and took care of him. And now we have my mother-in-law left that we all are going to take turns and take care of her. But, I lost my parents and now my husband's lost his dad. So, it's tough. Something you got to do, though, and everybody's going to stick together and be a family and watch out for each other and do our thing. Who drank that?
Who's in here?
Oh, well,
sorry.
I mean, that's the thing. There are, I mean, I've watched a lot of older relatives. They go into hospice and they die slowly, and they've been dying for years. And you feel bad because you think, man, why don't fucking whatever you believe in, why doesn't God just take them now? Why put them through this? Why put us through this? Why, you know what I mean? But I mean,
you're 100% right. You know why? Because when my mother was passing, she had Alzheimer's, but when she was passing, she went 18 days with no food, no water, and even hospice was like, wow, this is incredible. This has never happened. Like the nurse was like, I've seen this maybe once, but my mother went through every phase of death in front of us. And I'm talking all the way down to like the wax coming out of her body, which is like your toxins and everything. And we would have to wipe her down because it was the smell of death.
Yeah.
Finally, she finally passed, but we found out what she was waiting for. Her youngest brother was down in Situate, Mass, and he was actually in the hospital dying, and we didn't know it. And
Oh,
when I
wow.
called my cousin to find out his address for the obituary, he's like, you're not going to believe this. He's like, I'm on my way down to see my dad. He's actually dying too. The doctor said he has maybe 3 days left. So my mom passed the next day on my uncle's wife's birthday, which was her sister-in-law, who's already in heaven. And then he passed 3 days later. But the only way I got her to pass was by saying, Mom, I know you're waiting for your little brother, but he's going to follow right behind you. So you need to go now.
Right.
Like, I couldn't watch it
Right.
anymore. And at
Right.
4:15 in the morning, something hit me. I jumped out of bed and I was like, oh my God, I think she's gone. I went and grabbed my daughter, and my daughter's like, nope, Mom, she's not gone yet. I just checked her. And we stood over her and she passed. I called hospice, and the nurse that I called, I said, Katie, I'm so sorry to wake you up so early. She goes, no, it's okay. Somebody banged on my door at 4:15 a.m. I said, what? And she said, yeah, somebody banged on my door, but there was nobody there. I said, oh my God, I jumped out of the recliner beside my mom's bed at 4:15. That's when she was passing. I said, damn, she banged on your door to let you know she needed to wake up and come on over. But yeah,
Wow.
hospice is a
It's
great thing to have.
well, yeah. I mean, when I think about when you talk about like they do not give them any food, no water, and one of the ones that I was in, like they had like a lemon flavored sponge that you could wipe your lips off with,
Oh
and that
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
it.
yeah. We did that. We did that. But see, my mother was to the point where she wouldn't even open her mouth for the food. Like she stopped altogether. She just denied everything. And the sponges, she would even bite on those, and it scared me because I was afraid she'd choke. But she would clamp her mouth
Right.
shut. But yeah, that's all we did for the last 18 days was like sponges, you know, because they can't swallow. But,
Yeah. It's horrible to watch that happen, and I mean, yeah, they're pumped full of drugs and stuff, but you wonder
oh,
what are they really thinking? What are they really feeling? You know?
right. I was doing
Um,
morphine. I was doing morphine every hour and Ativan every 2 hours for 18 days.
well, I tried to volunteer for hospice just for that, but they wouldn't let me do it.
Well, that's a weird thing now. What is going on with like ICU? I've heard different things. Like she never got back to Edward after that happened, and I heard all these rumors that she went in there just for drugs. Is that true, or is she really sick?
They're not going to let you. I mean, there's a whole process to go into hospice. That means you're going to die soon,
Well,
and
that's what I
there's a whole
thought.
process for it. Like you can't really volunteer for it unless you have something wrong with you.
Right.
And then it gets so bad to where the amounts are so high, and the amount that you have to have on hand. It's
Yeah,
actually in some states it's not even legal to have that outside of a hospital, so then they have to put you in there.
Oh, believe me, when I went to the pharmacy, they didn't want to give me the meds. They told me I had enough meds to kill
Hmm.
somebody, and was I trying to kill
Hmm.
somebody? And I was like, what? No, my mom's on hospice. And then the hospice nurse had to call the pharmacy and say, listen, enough is enough. Stop giving my freaking patients' family members a hard time. These people are on hospice. They're dying. We wouldn't be giving these drugs out unless they needed them. Like, the pharmacist made me feel like a complete ass. Like, are you trying to kill her? Is that what you're doing? I was like, no. I'm just picking up what they said to and giving it as they say to. But I think they think nowadays everybody's a drug addict and just wants the drugs for themselves.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Sarah F. I understand though.
I can't hear her.
No, she's not on here. She was just in the
Oh,
comments.
yeah,
But yeah,
it's
you just it's like when back when the doctors had me on like massive amounts. They still had me on what people would say is a lot, but it's not much to me.
right.
But back when they had me like on heavy amounts of oxys, they changed. I don't remember what I was taking before, but I brought in prescriptions for what was it, 90 oxy, 60 milligram oxycontin, plus
Oh my God.
Xanax, plus
Yep.
Halcyon. And I already been
Oh
taking,
my
like, I think
God.
I'd already been taking, I think it was the Oxys and Lyrica and Klonopin, but then they switched the Klonopin to Xanax and added Halcyon. And I took out all the this is back during the days of the paper, you know. So of course they think they're all fake and they check them out, they're real, but they're like,
Right.
we can't do this. This is too many benzodiazepines with the opioid. We can't do it.
Right.
And at the time, I was so hooked on that shit that I was like, fuck you. So I just went to another pharmacy and no problem.
Right. Well, you know, when my sister-in-law went to pick up the drugs for my father-in-law who just passed, same thing happened to her. The pharmacist came out, was like, oh my God, you have enough drugs to kill somebody. Why are you doing this? And it scared her so bad. And she was new at it. So when she got back, she was freaking out. I'm like, listen, I said, they did the same thing to me. I said, do not let them scare you. You're doing what's best for your dad. He's in pain, and we have to give it to him the way hospice says. Hospice knows best. You know, like they even gave him a medication that the cancer doctors weren't even allowed to give him, which was like a steroid, but it was a bone pain drug. And it also helped him eat. If you, I think it began with a D.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of the
right.
But they were giving me that for a while.
But it was weird because the regular doctors were not allowed to give it. Only hospice was, and it did make his appetite come back. That's the weird part. It did actually work, but then he took that fall, so.
He wasn't eating the last week.
Yeah,
So I've been worried about my dad because he took a shot to the head. Not a gunshot. He got hit in the head with a board. And
how old is he?
He's 71 years old. 71.
Yep.
And he's still. This was like 4 months ago, and he still acts like he has a concussion. You know.
You should have taken him because you know what? My brother, who is.
We did.
Did they do a CAT scan, MRI?
Yeah. Yeah, they said his scans look clear, but he just. And the thing is, I think both my parents are like in the early stages of Alzheimer's.
Oh, really?
Anyway, so yeah.
My mom had it for almost 20 years, which is a really long time. Like normally people only have it like maybe 7 to 10 years. Or less. But my mother had it for like 20 years, but she plateaued and stayed at a certain stage for a really long time. And then when she went down really fast. But 71 is young. But I'll tell you, my brother got hit in the head with a crate working at the MVets one day. And he went to the hospital. And they were like, oh, we don't have time. You can either wait 2 hours to do a CAT scan or you can come back in 2 weeks. He's like, damn, my head hurts. I think I'll wait the 2 hours. They ended up finding 2 brain aneurysms in his head. And it wasn't even from the crate hitting him. It was just 2 brain aneurysms that he had in his head for years. And had that crate not hit him, they would have never found him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how things happen. Like with your dad saying that, like, I'm surprised they didn't find something.
Yeah, we are too. I mean, like I have. They were calling it for years. They said they called it traumatic brain injury, but now they're calling it CTE, whatever the fuck. I don't know which one it is. I don't even know the difference, but it messes with my memory so bad. Like used to be, you could tell me a date or a phone number. I would never forget it, but now I got to write everything down or save it in my phone or.
Well, you know what that comes from too, though, is listen, you and I are doing all the talking, but anyways, that comes from having cell phones too, because I was always a numbers person too, and I could always remember numbers. But now that there's cell phones and yeah, you can have one, and all this other crap, you don't have to remember numbers anymore.
Right. Yeah. Well, cell phones made people lazy. I mean,
they did.
Think about if you wanted to learn about something. Say you wanted to learn about let's see what's in the chat, diamorphine. Say you wanted to learn about that shit, which I do have intimate knowledge with it. But like you would have to go to a library and then hope that maybe, you know, four or five of the books they have on it are actually what you're looking for, and do whatever. But now you just jump on your phone and you know. I mean, like fuck, it used to be if you wanted to bully somebody, you had to physically go find them and kick their ass and stuff them in a locker. Now you can just bully people from behind a keyboard, you know.
Right. And I was a kid in school that if somebody bullied somebody, I'd beat that damn bully's ass so bad. Do you know what I mean? So somebody being a keyboard bully, ugh, that pisses me off because I hate bullies.
Can I say that it's wonderful to have Jeff Ortiz back?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Who just said that?
You're supposed to post this.
It's Tatiana.
Hi, Tatiana.
Hello.
I'm sorry that we've been yakking.
It's all right.
It's
amazing
great.
to see him back again.
I know. I'm so glad that Jeff's out of the hospital. Penny must. I was just talking about Penny tonight. Actually, some of my friends, because we were talking about Bill. Do you know? Does Vic make humidors?
I'm sure he could. I mean, that man can make about anything with wood.
Well, I know that he's making one for Penny. So that's why I was wondering, because I have somebody tonight that was talking to me, and he can't figure out like the water system and how to keep it moist or whatever, and I had no idea what he was talking about. But I said, "Can you make it in like a certain way?" He's like, "Yeah, but it's going to be this degrees and that and da da da, and I can't get it right." And oh my God, you know somebody that can make them? Oh, find out. I said, "Well, he's making Penny one first, and I'll find out if hers works. Maybe you can pay him to make you one."
I know that you can buy what are they? They're like little humidifiers that you can put in the boxes. I'm sure you could do that.
Oh, really?
I mean, I used to make. I don't have the equipment now, but I used to make like cedar jewelry boxes all the time. But I don't have the equipment to really do that right now. But
he was saying something about wet towels and water and distilled water, and I'm like, that sounds like an awful lot of work. I mean, he did bring a lot of cigars tonight, and everybody enjoyed them, but I didn't know there was so much work involved. I'm like, this is best growing weed. Damn, you gotta.
Yeah, there's a very, very specific science to keep the humidity right.
Yeah, well, same with weed. Like my brother grows weed, and the humidifier has to be on this, and the humidity is gonna be this, and the temperature is gonna be that, and the water's gonna be this, and da da da. And I'm like, that's too much work for me. I'll just go to the dispensary.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of science. I mean, I remember, you know, back in the day when, well, in Indiana you still have to hide it, but let's see, how can I tell the story without incriminating myself? Let's just say somebody I know. I'm asking for a friend. What they would do, because the Indiana National Guard would fly helicopters just, you know, kind of randomly over woods and stuff looking for pot.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, and I was actually they took civilian volunteers, and I actually helped do that for a couple of years, but don't tell anybody. So anyway, what this person that I know was doing was he had huge 500-gallon burlap sacks, and then you fill them up with peat moss and the right soil and get everything just right, and then you hoist it up into like the top of a tree so that when people are, you know, scanning, you know, down on the ground looking, nobody looks up. You know what I mean? So they're tied up, and then you have the camouflage and all that kind of. There's a big production behind it, but it works.
Do you want to know the weirdest thing? You saying that brings me back to my childhood. My brother-in-law worked at a company. It was called Castro Convertibles, where they shipped out furniture, and on the top of their building, and now I'm talking back in the 70s, we used to go down there and climb up the side to go up because they had like 6 to 10 feet pot plants on top of the building. That's where they were growing them. And now that you say that they don't look for them unless they're on the ground, makes total sense of why they were growing them on top of the building. Right?
Yep.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, and then you just there's a specific way you can camouflage the pot plants where they're still getting sunlight and rain.
Oh
So when they
God,
look
they
for it
just
with the
had him.
helicopter, they don't see it. Go ahead.
They had him. They just had him out. They didn't even care. The guy that lives across the street from my father-in-law right now, he used to be. He's an ex-cop. He's an ex-marine. He grows his own, and his dad actually. This guy is in his 50s, but his dad's like in his 70s. His dad grows for all the dispensaries around here, but this guy John just grows to make edibles because he doesn't smoke. Over the past couple of weeks, he's given me a couple of huge bags, but he gave me a cookie one day. Damn, I ate that cookie and I slept for 22 hours. 22 flipping hours.
I wish pot would work for me. I really do, because it's got to be better than the shit that I take. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you know what?
It either does nothing at all, or it makes me feel ways I never want to feel again. Like I didn't have a good experience with. Like, you can give me about any kind of pill, and like I will know how to dose it for myself, right?
Right.
Somebody gave me in Indiana, you can't buy good edibles. You know, they sell them, but the THC and CBD is so low that it doesn't do anything, right? So somebody got me a 500 milligram. It was like a little brownie, like, I don't know, 1.5 inch square.
Yep.
And 500 milligrams. Well, I don't know what fucking 500 milligrams means when it comes to pot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
But I found that out. I found that out.
Did you pass out?
You know, and she's like, I don't think so. But she said, you might just want to take like a quarter or a half. I'm like, man,
well, that's what I was told.
I'm taking the whole goddamn thing, you know.
I was told the same thing.
Yeah, but I got to know what the number 7 smells like and all that shit.
So what happened when you ate that edible?
I got high, but it wasn't the kind of high that I like, that I want. You know?
No, because it's a paranoid high, right?
Yeah, and like I already have fucking, like, you know, when I know I'm gonna get fucked up, I put I take my gun off and all that kind of shit. Like I know what I'm capable of, and I know what kind of tools I have. The last thing I need to be is paranoid, because I already kind of am. You know, and not good. I mean, I didn't do anything, but like the potential was, if somebody would have knocked on my door, God knows what would have happened. You probably
would have shot him. Exactly. I used to date a guy that used to be a wicked bad cokehead, and he used to literally sit at the windows, waiting for the cops, waiting for somebody to pull up to like rip him off, paranoid as ever. And I was just like, that is not a good feeling. And the first time my husband and I ate an edible was at my daughter's house and my son-in-law's, and nothing happened. And then we left, and we stopped at a gas station, and it was so brightly lit. My husband was out pumping gas, and I was looking out at him, and he's looking all around. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh my God, where the hell are we? What's happening? I'm like, oh my God, the brownies are hitting us. We were so paranoid at this gas station, we could not get home quick enough to like get in the house and make sure nobody was like watching us. And I swore I'd never do an edible again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not my favorite high. Yeah, I mean, definitely not.
My poor neighbors, when I lived there, my poor neighbors, they saw so much shit. Oh man. You know, like I'd be sprawled out. You know, shit would happen, and I'd be sprawled out on my deck. You know, and in the morning they're getting up to go to work and stuff, and
there's naked
more than once where I woke up and well, you know, but yeah, I would wake up and they'd be there poking me with the stick and shit.
That's a little scary.
Right, Bill, we were 5 seconds from calling an ambulance for you. I'm like, yeah, what? Oh yeah, I'm Bill fucking Powell, man. You can't fucking nothing can kill me. You know?
Oh my God! Yeah. When I was at the cookout tonight, when I was over at my brother's, I'm like, well, I have to be on by 9 o'clock. They're like, why? I'm like, because I'm gonna be on the Bill fucking Powell show. And my nephew's wife's mother is like, what is the Bill fucking Powell show? I'm like, when you get home tonight, I just want you to put on YouTube and type in Bill fucking Powell. I'm like, and you'll hear me. She was dying. dying. Her and her husband, they're so cool. They're partiers, but
Nice. Well, if they're listening now, hello, people.
yeah, Sherry, if you're listening, yeah, she was kind of buzzed. So was her husband. So she might have forgot. But
Right on.
I was telling them all about our community and what we do, and they were like so amazed. And actually my niece and her husband and their kids were up from Florida, and she's like, "Oh my God, I heard about that." I said, "Polo's back catching in Florida." She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I saw something on YouTube." And I'm like, "Well, that's our community. Come be a part of it if you'd like."
Yeah, I mean, just fill out the application and sign the appropriate forms, non-disclosure agreements, etc., etc. I am not responsible for anything that happens to you people.
As long as you're naked when you do it all.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Why are we the only two talking? What's everybody doing? Sleeping?
Their mouths are busy. You know what I'm saying?
I don't hear anybody.
I think they probably fell asleep.
Damn, it's a good thing I came up with you, huh?
Yeah. You
I
want to go ahead
seriously
now?
think. Are they sleeping? Hello? Is
Yeah,
there
I think so.
anybody out there?
I'm here.
Who's
Sorry,
me?
I took a nap.
See, I knew it. See, Bill? They're
I'm just
sleeping
kidding.
on us.
They're
I've been
fired.
listening.
You're all fired.
No, I was just listening. I'm outside and my dogs are playing, so I had it muted.
Oh, so you have something to keep you busy.
Yeah, they're just a
Because
little loud,
otherwise,
so I didn't want them to
I
be
can.
like barking over you guys.
Yeah, well, I can talk all night, so I'm like Bill, just not on as high core drugs.
Well, that's your own fault. I
Well,
feel
Bill,
sorry for you.
back in the day, you and I would have got along great, though. I'm telling you, in the '80s, we would have been great.
Yeah, Bill, I heard you talking about how pot doesn't work for you. Have you heard of Marinol? I'm pretty sure that's
Marinol.
what it's called.
No,
Yeah.
but I think I might have
What is
dated her sister.
what is Marinol?
I could be saying it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's like a pill version of
Oh
THC.
yeah,
It's like Indiana, that's like the only version of THC that's legal here.
yeah. That
It's
just makes you. It just makes you hungry and paranoid. He doesn't want to be hungry or paranoid.
Right.
I get that.
My father-in-law actually has those pills in his refrigerator right now. They're pure THC pills.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they would fuck him up so bad. He'd be like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well, you're 80 something years old and you've never smoked pot." But then I started buying him edibles and he fell in love. Like, I got there one day and he was jonesing so bad for him, he couldn't rip the package open back fast enough because the edibles were working so much better on his cancer than all the drugs he was on.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I heard it's a big wonder for that.
It is,
And
I'll tell you what, I was trying to get him off the oxycodone because that was what was messing up his head. The
Oh yeah,
morphine,
oxys are a bitch.
yeah, the morphine wasn't so bad. Like the morphine is more like a happy, talkative drug, whereas the oxycodones were making him so fucked up, and the Ativan on top of that, we were trying to just give him at night. So then when I started with the edibles with him, he actually liked them, and he was like, "Oh, I feel better after it, and I feel like I can eat something." And then I got him some CBD oil, but I got him the 3,000 milligram. And I'll tell you what, that worked so much better than he could take 2 oxycodones and it would do nothing. I'd give him a syringe of the CBD and he'd be happy and smiling within half an hour. I mean, and the reason I found out about the CBD was because I know my daughter's friend owns a dispensary up in Maine, and he used to be a skydiver instructor. Like he's taught the military and all kinds of things. But anyways, he was over in Dubai and he got into a car accident and he ended up headfirst in the sand. And for them to save him, they either had to pull him out of the sand and break his neck or let him suffocate. So they chose to pull him out of the sand. And when they pulled him out, they internally decapitated him in 10 different spots. So he was on so many different drugs, like Oxycontins, morphine, freaking Dilaudid, whatever, everything. And he started his own CBD company. And he started doing CBD, and then he's bought a bunch of land up in Maine. He started his own dispensary. So now he is off all drugs. He does like 5 syringes of CBD 3 or 4 times a day. And he does when he's really bad, the RSO, the Rick Simpson oil, he'll do that. But that makes him really fucked up, so he doesn't like to do that as much. But he's the one that said, try that on my father-in-law. And he was 100% right. It worked. It worked great. And somebody that was decapitated in 10 places, for them to say, you know, I got off of Oxycontin, not oxycodones, Oxycontin and Dilaudid and this and that, and just on CBD, I was like, I'll try it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I can, like I have prescription for morphine right now, and I can for the most part control that when I want to. The problem is I usually don't want to, so I just say fuck it and take it all, not all at once, but you know, more than I should.
But the whole thing is, Bill, do you hear people out in the streets going, oh my God, I'm jonesing for morphine, I need morphine? No, it's Oxycontin, oxycodone, hydrocodone.
Right. No, you're right. You're right.
They're not in the streets jonesing for morphine. Morphine is a totally different drug. I mean, it's an opioid.
Like I said, I can control the morphine, but I could not. I lost all control with the oxys, man. It was just more.
Exactly. And that's what I was trying to explain to, like, my in-laws and stuff, and my sister-in-law. Like, the oxycodones are what's bad. You get so addicted. I mean, I've had morphine plenty of times, and to me, it's a whole body buzz, and you're happy. You talk. Hydrocodone or oxycodone or Oxycontin, you're just so fucked up. It's just stupid.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. That's where, because I was on Vicodin for 2 years, and I was able to control that. I didn't get hooked on it.
Oh my God, my sister overdosed on Vicodin.
That's the thing about Vicodin, though, is that's why they switched them to Norcos, because the Norcos have less Tylenol in them. It's not the freaking narcotic that kills people with Vicodin, it's the Tylenol. Burns out.
Oh my God, Bill, you're so right. You want to know what happened? When my sister overdosed on it, the person she was with, anyways, the person left her too long. But by the time she got to the hospital, you're so right when you say that, because they even said to us, it's not the Vicodin. It's the Tylenol that was in it. It shut her liver down. She overdosed on Tylenol. And my nephew at 24 died of an overdose of Tylenol because he was trying to detox off of heroin. And he was sick, so he kept taking Tylenol and more Tylenol. And he died of a Tylenol overdose. So when my sister, 20 years later, when I went to the hospital and they told me she was dying of a Tylenol overdose, I'm like, how the hell can that happen twice in one family? No flipping way. I'm like, she's a Vicodin fucking queen. And then they were like, yeah, but you don't understand. There's so much Tylenol in the Vicodin. And every organ...
And it's relatively easy to extract it, because I was buying people's entire prescriptions of the Oxycontin, you know, and then I'd run out of that. And if I got desperate enough, like I knew somebody that could get me 180 Vicodin pretty much anytime I want. But I knew that was a hell of a lot of Tylenol. But I learned how to extract the hydrocodone out of it. I mean, you do lose a little bit of the process, but
the Tylenol will kill you. I never took Tylenol after my nephew died back in 2000 because of the fact he died of a Tylenol overdose. And that was back when they were saying, they were like pulling it off the shelf, saying people were dying, da 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 da. And when he passed, he was green because it shut his liver down. Tylenol is a horrible drug.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, Constantine, I remember Zohydros. There was two of them. There was Zohydros and something else that came out at the same time. I forget the name of the other one, but they have the same thing, time-released hydrocodone. But like, I never met anybody that actually had it.
Right. My father-in-law had the time-released morphine pills, but not
Yeah, that's what I have.
hydrocodone. Yep. But then we went to the morphine liquid.
Yeah.
Which is quick acting and quick leaving.
They
you know what I'm saying?
They used to give me, like, if I call up my doctor and said, hey, pills aren't cutting it today, I need a shot, I'd have to go to the office, but by the time I got to that point, I was either hurting so bad I couldn't hardly move, or like I'd run out of shit, but I ain't gonna tell him that. And I can call him up and say, what's that?
What are you in so much pain from?
I fucked up my spinal cord. And then, like, I had never had back problems before that, right? But
yeah,
between the C2 and C3, I had a disc that it slipped, and while it was in there, I get a little piece of it broke off and kind of stayed there.
Yep.
And they can't do surgery because if they fuck that up, you'd be paralyzed. You know what I mean? So it's stuck there. But because of that, I found out that the reason it broke was because I already had degenerative disc disease, but I didn't know it. I never had any back problems.
You know what, Bill? I just found out I have it too. I've had it for years,
really?
And I just found out. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But I didn't know I had it.
I didn't know I had it until I just looked at my records, and I was like, "Wow, is this what I was getting those shots in my back?" Did you ever get those?
Oh, I've had, yeah, tons of them. But the ones I was just talking about is I could call my doctor and say, "Hey, I need a shot," and they would either give me Dilaudid or morphine. But it was really, I mean, it only lasted for like an hour or whatever. But when you're desperate, you fuck it.
The shots I was getting.
So anyway, because I already had the because I already had a prescription, but I had a tolerance for the morphine for the subcutaneous injection. My dosage was supposed to be 7.5 plus whatever nausea drug that they put in there, but they misread it somehow and they gave me 12.5 instead of 7.5 in that subcutaneous.
God.
And they were like, and then they realized it after they did it, and they're like, and so they're going to get shit like, oh shit, blah, blah. I'm like, no, don't fuck with that. I feel good now. Don't fuck with it.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
That was before that shit that they give you now. What's it called? They spray it up your nose if you're overdosing. That was before all that, so they didn't have it. But yeah,
right. Yep.
So they're doing all this other shit. And I'm like, no, leave it alone. I'm good.
Because you probably have a high tolerance.
Yeah. So, I was fine, but
so therapeutically, what they wanted to give you was not going to work in your body. So them giving you twice as much, you're like, yeah, I'm good. And they're probably thinking, holy shit, we just overdosed this guy.
Yeah. But what they wound up doing is by the time they realized it, I know that the doctor came in and he's like, well, if he was actually overdosing, he'd be, done by now. So they just watched me. They wanted me to stay for 24 hours, but fuck that. I just signed myself out.
Yeah, of course you did. I had Dilaudid one time in the hospital, and I'll tell you what, that shit, never ever again. I was like up in the clouds somewhere. I had no idea what the fuck was happening to me. And when I left the hospital, I was still sick. Ended up going back there at 3 a.m. And they wanted to give me more, and I was like yelling at the doctor, no. Just give me freaking Ativan and some freaking Zofran to stop my stomach. I don't want no more of that Dilaudid shit. Like, I was walking on clouds. Who does that? Did you like that buzz?
Yeah.
I figured you
That's
would.
the thing is that's the thing is like now, I mean, after you get so far into it, you don't really get that buzz anymore.
Well,
you're just trying to maintain and not feel like shit, you know?
well, I went to the hospital one night and they wanted to put a tube up my nose into my stomach. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. So they gave me every drug they could think of in the hospital. They started with like Valium. They went to Ativan. Then they went to morphine. Then they went to this. Then they finally got to Dilaudid. And I was like, okay, go ahead. And I had to drink out of a straw while they were sticking this thing up my nose. And I was like, okay with it. By the time I got home, my kids were like, what's the matter with you? I'm like, I am so fucked up. I had so many drugs tonight. You would never believe that you could do this many drugs without overdosing. Like, they gave me 5 or 6 different drugs. That's how high my tolerance is. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, yeah, mine is too, naturally. So, like when I'm really tripping out, you know what I think about?
I can only
BDSM.
imagine. What is that?
You don't know what BDM is? Oh, BDMS, you don't know what that is?
BDMS?
Yeah. BDSM.
BDSM. I have no idea. Anybody else know?
Bondage and sadomasochism.
Oh, Jesus. I probably should have figured that out. I was kind of headed that way, but...
Okay, BDSM, yes or no?
Hell no.
You're fired.
Okay. Not a problem.
I'm kidding. It's not mandatory.
Well, that's kind of creepy too, though, you know? I don't know. And I still don't
Oh, yeah, I can
understand
see how you'd think that.
why are you and I
A lot of
still the
people
only
like
ones
it.
talking? Well, of course they do. Some people like that, like, I don't know, to be taken advantage of and to be told what to do. I am a leader. I'm not a follower. I would have to be like the top dog.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a role for doms and subs. The thing is,
Exactly.
though, you're a dom, I'm a dom, so we wouldn't work out.
But I
They
wouldn't
would
want to
just call
hurt
that
it.
fighting,
But
and
see,
it wouldn't be any fun.
I also don't like to hurt anybody, so I couldn't be that either.
Well,
You know
I
what I'm
mean, there's
saying?
different levels. There's different levels.
I'm a leader,
I mean,
not a follower.
some guys just want to be walked like a dog. You know, that's not my thing, but some
Oh
guys are
my
into that.
God! And if they wanted to be, I'd be like, bye bye. Go find yourself a freaking bitch. That's just gross. Maybe I've been married too long.
How long you been married?
Almost 39 years. I got married when I was
That's a hell of
19. I got
a hell
married
of a
when I was
commitment.
19 years old.
I've never actually. I've been in a few long-term relationships, but I've never really been married.
Really? And how many kids do you have?
No, I
You
have
have
2
kids?
biological and one stepson that he's been with me since he was like 9 months old, so he's mine
But
too.
you've never been married?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, when I was walking down the aisle,
Nope.
I had to like pull myself away from my father. He would not let me go, and I'm like, Dad, you gotta let go, you gotta let go. But when my husband asked my father if he could marry me, my father was like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to marry her? Like, do you understand what you're getting yourself into? Like, she's a spoiled, rotten little bitch. And my father was like, all luck to you, dude.
Well, I mean, I don't know. See, I was with my daughter's mom for 4 or 5 years, and then I was with my son's mom for 15 years.
Well, that's a long time.
Yeah, so it's not like I wouldn't commit to a relationship because I was, and like I've been engaged twice. The first one I was very young, like I was right out of high school, and
Right.
at the time when I was in high school, I was dating college chicks, and I thought I was so fucking cool over that, right?
Yep.
But one of them I wound up getting engaged to, like right after I started making decent money right out of high school. And looking back, I realized how everybody was like, "She's fucking crazy, man. You got to get away from her." Well, this is how smart I am. She tried to kill me twice before I finally got rid of her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, the one time I had gotten the steelworker plant that I worked at, like when it would get real hot inside that shop, it would be like a minimum of 120 degrees because we burn steel and stuff. And in the summertime, they would not send people home no matter how hot it got unless two people pass out. So we had people starting to go down from the heat, so they sent us home early. And I didn't go home right away. I went to a drugstore and I got a candy bar and a Gatorade or something. I don't remember. So anyway, just by coincidence, as I'm walking out with this little bag, she's driving through. Total coincidence. Or she might have been following me. I don't know. But so anyway, she gets this mean look on her face and she just floors it towards me. But my friends and I, we used to do that shit to each other, just fucking around. You know, you drive with somebody and then they jump on the hood of your car and roll off. I thought that's what she was doing.
Was she mean
So
mugging you?
Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Had to get that in
so
there.
Like I stood there frozen like a deer in headlights for a second. I'm like, she's actually fucking, oh shit. So I jumped, and rolled off the hood like we always did. And like she was just ripping my ass. She's like, I know you bought fucking condoms. I'm like, but what? I'm like, one, I don't like the fucking things, you know that. And then I opened up my bag and it was just a candy bar and a Gatorade. And so we kind of got over that. And this is also how smart I am. I bought her own gun, right? I always buy my girlfriends their own guns. And yeah, I don't even want to tell that story. But the second time that she actually tried to kill me, she, I don't even know what she got mad about. But she grabbed a kitchen knife and came at me. And I held her down until she finally got over whatever it was she was mad about. And then I still didn't kick her out. And oh, man. So finally, I just had enough. And
glutton for punishment.
Oh, yeah. I just told her, I'm like, you keep the ring, you keep the gun, just get out of my house,
I threw a remote control at my husband's head one time. And then I ran out of the house with my sister and went to a bar drinking. Because I was like, shit, he's pissed. But we've never had like that kind of relationship where you hit each other. It was just one day she was over and he said something. I got mad and I whipped the remote. I wasn't planning on hitting him, but it bounced off his head. And then I thought to myself, damn, I probably shouldn't stay here.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't have done anything anyways because he's never, ever been that way. That's why I've been married for 39 years. That's why losing my father-in-law was so hard because, I mean, he's been in my life since I was 19 years old. And you know what? He hated me when my husband first started dating me. My husband was from a little town called Shirley, and I was from Marlboro. And Marlboro girls were bad girls. So my in-laws did not like me at the beginning, and they were so mad at Gary for dating me. And I was like flabbergasted. I thought I was the nicest person in the world. And I slept over his house one night on the couch, and I had to have a fan. And they thought I was weird because I had to have a fan. But that night, I heard them the next morning in the kitchen talking about me and saying how weird they thought I was. And I said, oh my God, his parents hate me. And then when push came to shove, we ended up getting married. His parents and my parents became best friends. And we all loved each other after that.
Right.
But before that, I was the weird Marlboro girl. Like, where the hell did she come from? Why is he not marrying like a girl from this small little town? And
did you wear those high-heeled fuck me boots up to here?
No, never.
All right. Just asking.
Never, ever, ever. See, the only thing different is Marlboro was more of a druggy town, and Shirley wasn't. So I think they thought, I came from a bad place.
Well,
but I also, I also swore I'd never move to Shirley because it was such a tiny little dinky town. I mean, they didn't even have a freaking pharmacy. They had like 2 convenience stores. But once my kids got of school age, my daughter got into kindergarten, and the first day she didn't get home until like 2 hours later because they screwed up so bad. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want to live in this town. I'm like, the school system sucks. I grew up in the school system. Nope. Moved to Shirley.
Yeah, I grew up in the same area in Indiana. Sounds like the same fucking thing. If you want drugs, you go to Monon. If you want to pretend like you're a good person, you live in a different, you know what I mean?
Well, you know, it worked though because my kids didn't get into any drugs. Plus, I scared the crap out of them because I have done every drug possible except for probably heroin. So I told them, you know, don't even try it because if you do, I'm gonna know it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always the mom that was like at the parties. I would show up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was the mom for sure. Remember when beepers first came out? Pagers, beepers, whatever they called them.
Yeah, I never had one. I just
Well,
I
my
still probably to this day wouldn't have a cell phone, but my job demanded that I have a cell phone. I didn't have one until 2000. I didn't have a cell phone until 2004 when I started doing the bail bonds thing. I just refused to get one. Fuck that. And if it wasn't for that job, I still wouldn't have one.
My middle child had a beeper or a pager the day they came out because she was my problem child. And if I called that thing and she didn't call back in 5 minutes, she knew I was out looking. So guess what she did? She'd call back in 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, though, she can be on the phone saying anything you know what I mean? I'm not saying she was. I'm just saying that that's the kind of shit I used to do.
And she absolutely was, except for the fact she also knew me. And half the time I was right outside the house I was calling her at.
You guys want to see a super cool pumpkin I got today?
I would love to see a
sure.
super cool pumpkin.
All right.
God damn it.
Look at that guy.
I'm out of lighter fluid, so I'm gonna.
What the hell is that?
Isn't it cool?
Yes, but isn't that a gourd?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, hang on. Let me.
I don't know. I've never seen one before, but
It almost looks like a Frankenstein pumpkin.
Yeah, and he's awesome.
Like scary. Oh, I like that one.
Got some pumpkins today. Here, okay, seizure warning. If anyone has seizures, look away. I'll give you a second. I put my spooky stuff. It's not much, but I put my spooky stuff up today.
I didn't even decorate this year.
I don't do much really, but
I usually do. Oh my god, I love it.
Some witches over there.
Oh, I love it. That's super cool.
I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday.
I
had to share that pumpkin. I hope Penny, if you're in here, I wanted you to see it. I knew you would love it.
It looks like a Frankenstein pumpkin.
Yeah,
for sure.
Cool. Had to share it.
Almost looks kind of like a mushroom too.
Yeah, Halloween's my.
All right, yo, I'm out of lighter fluid, so I'm gonna have to get off of here and go find a lighter.
Nice.
All right, well, you have a good night, though.
All right, y'all take it easy. Thanks for. Oh, wait a minute. You guys got to say it with me on 3.
Stay naked.
You know, there you go. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Stay naked.
All right, later.
Bye.